Yo, yo, yo. How's it going, guys? Let's do this. I gotta work on my color. I feel like I'm faded out. Whatever. Who cares? Can you guys hear me? Is everything working? Hopefully. Can you see my balance over here on my main portfolio? Happy Valentine's Day. Hopefully you all are celebrating and having a good time. I feel like the markets gave us a nice Valentine's today. Hopefully everybody partook from it. I think I might have had my best day ever. I'm not totally sure. I'll have to look after the fact, but I think almost $300,000. I just couldn't not buy the Cybertruck today. So just too good of a week. It's funny too because so many people were shit talking me last week about everything, and I've made $750,000 since they did that. So, Anyway, all right. So, yeah, good day across the board. Hood, obviously doing well, 13% close. Clean Spark, Bit Farms, Arc Genomics. I mean, everything was good, man. Even PayPal only lost $8,000. That's pretty cool. Oh, and I did buy, real quick, I need to put this in here in the beginning, but I did buy about 22,000 in January 2026, $95 strikes for PayPal. So I haven't sold any of my 2025 stack yet. I'm still holding out hope. If I lose 330 grand, whatever. But I'm still holding out for that, but I'm also pushing out because I want to be able to benefit from this, even if it takes longer. And then I also bought Tesla calls, Rivian calls. People were pointing out that Tesla was up after hours. It looks like Elon's ownership stake is not 13.5% or something anymore. It's over 20, which is great. I don't know if that means that he was buying the dip today. I'm not sure. But that's cool. So I was buying Tesla calls, buying Rivian calls. And then I sold a decent chunk of Clean Spark. Some of it unintentionally, just because I didn't cancel out my previous order. But whatever. It gives me extra money to pay taxes. Gives me money to be able to pay some bills for the next year. And then it gave me a good excuse to buy my Cybertruck. So I'm happy about that. Anyway, let's move on. I'll try and look at chat more too. Going to try and increase the production value on all this. Market breadth was pretty sweet. If you weren't Apple for a big tech, I mean, everything else is basically green. No complaints. Oh, thanks, man. Thank you for the congrats. And then one thing I want to note. So I was getting a lot of crap yesterday from people that immediately reacted to the CPI numbers and said, oh, we're not going to lower rates now until the end of the year, or maybe next year, or July, or whatever. Insert here. For the record, that data that came out yesterday was mostly shelter. I talked about this a little bit on a midstream, I think, yesterday. Maybe it was Felix's. It was one of them. So that isn't very impactful. There's a number of reasons why that's happening. There's reasons from a tax perspective, insurance rates being high, things that are carryover effects. There's also like 8 million illegal immigrants that came across the border that are being housed. There's just like a lot of weird little things. But my whole point in another post was that the higher rates we're seeing that are kind of keeping that high for shelter aren't constructive. They're destructive. They lower personal spending. So the people that are paying a lot more for their rents, whatever, this is lowering what they're spending. And I know one of our Fed people today, whoever it was talking about, hey, we know inflation's coming down. That's not really what we're looking at. What we're looking at is PCE, which is personal consumption. I think that's idiotic. Whatever. They just keep changing their mind all the time. The thing I wanted to point out here is May is still on. We have a 40% chance of a cut in May. So it's not like all this disappeared. Everybody's talking July or the end of the year. We still have a 40% chance for May, and I think the numbers are going to get worse. Why? I trust Trueflation. I don't trust the Fed. If you trust the Fed, I think you're being foolish. They lie to us all the time. And when I look at the shelter components here, these Trueflation guys are cool. They're starting to become my buddies. But you can see how we're looking at like negative 2.6 for other lodging. There's just like, we're seeing shelter components coming down too. And so I think a lot of stuff is going to change in the next 2 reads that we get before the May decision. So I still believe that we're going lower in May, and I'm going to hold on to that. I'm probably wrong about March, holding on to May, not letting go of that. Pretty sure I'm going to be right. Moving on. You're welcome for the content. Very happy to provide it. Thank you guys for everybody who supports me. I really appreciate it. All right, so today, economic stuff. PPI and core PPI were down, lower than expected for forecast. That was a big driver today. Somebody else, though, in chat mentioned that markets started to trend higher in after hours after the UK had reported something similar. So they're seeing their rates crashing too, which I saw in Trueflation for like the last year. So again, Trueflation seems to be the beacon. These guys don't have a vested interest in lying to you like the government does. And they have APIs that connect to all the major vendors and data aggregators across every sector of our economy. So believe them. Don't believe the government. The government lies. I don't care what side of the aisle you're on. Outside of that, mortgages, again, this is another reason why we're going to see rates coming down. The mortgage rate is slowly ticking up, and that's going to keep happening until, like, again, we had this nice drop. But with the threats of higher inflation, which we know is bullshit, this is starting to come back up again as bond rates also go up. Bond rates could continue to go up. So there's something that a lot of people don't seem to understand, but the Treasury has changed recently. They used to issue like 80% coupons, and coupons are just like shorter Treasuries. That's switched. They're not doing that anymore. Now they're doing long-dated bonds. So they're trying to push out their debt obligations a while so that they don't have to be accountable today. Who knew that was coming, right? The government not wanting to be accountable for what they do today. I couldn't have seen that happen. But it's another way of providing stealth liquidity. Even though the Bank Term Funding Program is going away this month, it wasn't being used as much. And the reverse repo is starting to run out. I still think none of that really matters. The government is still printing away. The Treasury can do it. We've got the reverse repo. There's so many mechanisms outside of the president and Congress. You guys just have to realize that. Anyway, so that stuff's going to be a little bit high until it's not. And I think the market's calling bullshit on everything that the Fed was saying recently, or all the pundits that are like, oh, the CPI is so high. I think they're calling BS because markets are flying, and they shouldn't be flying, right? They should be crashing. So nobody cares. It was just a dip, and they bought it. All right. Margin debt. Tom Lee. Okay, this is coming from Tom, I guess. This is being posted by Seth Golden, Seth CL. This dude is awesome. He's really, really cool. It's like from Jersey or something. I don't know. He's got an accent. Anyway, he's great. He's brilliant. And this post from Bloomberg that I think maybe Tom retweeted is awesome to look at. It talks about margin debt. And you can see how margin debt was concerning back at the peak of 2021 at $935 billion. But guys, look at where we're at today. We're not that high in comparison to the last 4 years worth of margin debt. So you can't really say that people are gambling right now when margin debt is this low. So anyway, I'm interested to see what comes from all of this. This says recent peak was $710 billion, July 23rd. July peak followed by 11% drawdown in stocks. There's just too much dry powder on the sidelines. Thus, we think this sell-off dip will be bought. And well, it was. This is another thing. I think this is actually, Seth posted this too, and I think it's probably accurate. Maybe mid-year we start to see some kind of drop. Or even before that. Maybe it happens in March. I don't know. I think that a drop, though, is potential or has probability and could be likely. We're overbought on a lot of different indices right now. It's very clear that we still have fear, or I should say greed, in the markets too. It's actually kind of cool because if we look here, we've just been treading water in the fear or in the extreme greed and greed zone, which is actually kind of fascinating. That it's kind of curved down and started dipping up. To me, it screams that it's still trying to rip. I don't know how high, but I do see rotation happening. And I think that, again, people have made so much money off of everything, right? Like all the big dogs. They've made money off of Microsoft. They've made money off of Meta. They've made money off of Amazon. They've made money off of Nvidia. They've made money off of SMCI. And when you get to the point where you're up like 1,000% on some of these, you're going to start trimming and looking for yield and things that are oversold and that could give you high returns. And so you think the PayPal trade, I still think the PayPal trade can be saved. Yes, I haven't sold a dime of 2025. So I still got 330 grand, or what I put in was 330. It's a little less than that now. I am buying, though, 2026 calls now. I bought 22,000 worth today. Haven't sold any of the 2025s. Anyway, my boy Cross Border, again, if there's two things that were a beacon of light for me in 2023 that allowed me to make 700% returns, it was my boy Mike Howell from Cross Border Capital, and then Trueflation. Those things showed me the truth and helped me get rich. So it says, oops, Fed, strong economies are rarely good for bond markets. And it shows GDP economic indicator and then Fed funds rate. And what he's trying to indicate here is that bonds could still struggle, especially when they're going to be pushing out record issuance. So I think he's right. He's pretty much always right. Got a very Tom Lee thing to him, so I think you should listen to him. I don't think bonds are a really good deal right now. Again, if you guys didn't catch it, the breaking news, it looks like Elon's stake in Tesla is higher than previously thought. We're not sure if this is from purchases or what, but that's probably a good sign for Tesla, and it makes me happy because I have bought a lot of Tesla calls in the last week and a half, about 130K worth, I think. So I would love to see them go up. All right, if you guys missed it yesterday, I want to cover this real quick. It's Robinhood. Robinhood up to no good. It's doing pretty good today. It's right up at resistance levels. Oh, I love this so much. I'm glad it closed here. This is really cool. So here's the thing. Here's what I said in yesterday's live stream with earnings with Amit, is I am cool if this actually grinds all the way back to $12.30 and sits there. I would be cool with that. I don't care if it does that. I hope it does do that. You know why? Because it has never in the life of this company tested that and kept it as support for any period of time. Any at all. If we go to the daily view here, you can see when it came down to here, it went under, came back up, tried to test down, went under the .618. It's this like greenish line right here. It's the golden fib retracement zone. Went back up, went down, went under it, stayed under it, tried to go over it, went under it, couldn't establish support, tried to establish some kind of support, just crashed right through. It has literally crashed through this every single time. If we establish any trend above this level, it's game on in the months and quarters ahead. That's my point on Hood. And another view just here, looking at this, right? Look at the amount of volume that is underneath of us. We have a mountain of support underneath of us right now. And we have virtually no trade history. The algos have nothing to work off of here. They have nothing that says, we should stop here outside of fib. And they will use fib, but they won't have strong levels of conviction on fib. So the ability for this thing to be a rocket ship higher is high, super high. I still think, so if we tested down, like I show here, if we tested down and hit 12 something right around there, buy. This is a 10 bagger. The options on this are a 10 bagger. Buy it. Yes, we will talk about SoFi. That's actually coming up pretty quick. All right, so let me see here what else I got. Just real quickly on the macro stuff. The dollar is under. It dropped a little bit today. Nothing crazy going on there. I'm actually thinking we're probably getting toppy on the dollar. We'll see. If we're getting toppy on the dollar, it's great for markets. Oil is finally breaking down. It is hitting on the 50 here moving average. I'm hoping to see this trend back down to the orange line, which is the 200. On all my charts, guys, purple line, 50 moving average. Yellow line, 100 moving average. Orangish line, 200 moving average. Every chart's that same thing. Remember that. So if we go down to test this 200 moving average again, it's game over. We're probably going to break through it. It's just the way it works. It's basically this being a bear flag and having no conviction to go higher. And the fact that it got its head handed to it right here and then went underneath the 50 again is another good sign. Just like this big red wick that went all the way down to the 50 is a good sign. And so if oil breaks down, if the dollar is remaining stable and oil's going down, it's going to be fun. All right, let's look at some other stuff. Let's look at, let's jump into stocks here. So, somebody said SoFi. Let's look at that. All right. SoFi, nice. I love that it had some power today. You could definitely see stress coming off banking-related stocks. And again, bullish divergence going back to April of 2022. I just talked about Hood. Bullish divergence going back from April of 2022. That is beautiful. And then we have bullish divergence here too. And then look at this. You can see it trying to wick up in the MACD. And then just looking over here, this is starting to look like an ascending triangle. If we get back up to the $10 range, it'll be an ascending triangle. And the measured move will be from the neckline down to here. And that gets us up to test closer to $16, roughly double what we're at right now. And I think that the likelihood of that is pretty good. Again, we're turning the .618 and this volume underneath of us into support. And I love that. Like you can see the slope here was super steep. This was a little less steep. This was a little less steep. This was a little less steep. And now this one is going to be almost sideways. This is a bottoming pattern. All right. Square. We can look at Square. And members get first dib, guys, even if you're just doing the starter pack at 3. I look at those first. I look for that little member icon. And if it's on there, I give them priority. All right. Let's go to Square. I think Square also looks tough. This thing's already ran pretty good, though, but it's taken a breather. I mean, look at that. Look at that strength that it had. It actually ran in such a short period of time, 106% from October, third week of October, to December 18th. So about 2 months, this thing went up 106%. If you don't believe me that PayPal can go up 64% and my 330,000 can turn to 2.6 million in 3 to 4 months, this should give you indication of that. It has to come from some fundamentals, but it can happen. And I'd say PayPal looks great. It's been trending underneath the 100 moving average on the weekly, but it wants to go higher. I don't think there's much to add here, but again, Square is what, 41 billion, so it's pretty big, but they're doing good. And I like the fact that they're getting ready to go net positive here. When are earnings? Earnings for Square coming real quick. That should be fun. I think I'm gonna have to do a live event for that. We gotta see. Let's just look at Square real quick. I just want to check something else. I just want to see how they're looking. Gross payment volume up. Bitcoin revenue contribution. Oh, yeah, these guys hold Bitcoin. Ooh. That's going to help them out, isn't it? I'm glad I still got a bunch of calls. I think I got low 6 figures on this one. Operating expenses were trending down. That's not bad. We like to see that, right? This is going in the right direction. They do more of that this quarter. Great. Cash flow is up. Loving that trend over the last year and a half. Gross payment volume up. Just everything is looking good here. Bitcoin revenues up. Net income getting close to positive. They go positive, and that's going to be beautiful. They did have a lot of stock-based comp that I think that's starting to drop, so that should be good too. Let's see what my friend Alejandro has for our other charts in here. Cash App monthly active users going up. Deposits are looking all right. Gross profits by segment. Boy, he's got a lot of good stuff in here. I like the operating leverage. I like to see that we're starting to trend down on expenses, but we're seeing gross revenue going up. That's always great sign. Anyway, that looks good. Let me see. What else we want to look at? Anybody want to look at... let's go to Palantir real quick. I'm actually kind of happy that has done as well as it has. And then we'll get to the Bitcoin miners and then whatever else. All right. Oh, dude, Palantir does want to blow the top, doesn't it? Now, some things to keep note of here. Down on this, you can see the trend line that we had. We're kind of hitting the top of it on both the MACD and the RSI. So that could indicate that we're going to roll over. And again, we're hitting this trend line of upward sloping resistance. So there is potential here that this thing could start to get toppy, but I love that it's above peak volume here. If the market gets beat down, this is going to come down. If the market doesn't get beat down, or we start to hear rumors of S&P inclusion, hey, thank you for joining. Rumors of S&P inclusion, we could see some good stuff happening with Palantir. But again, I just think that you're going to have limited upside here, guys. This thing is almost $55 billion now, and their net revenues were $94 million. To put that in perspective, PayPal's were $1.4 billion for net income. And these guys, I'm sorry, their net income was $94 million. $94 million, $1.4 billion. And their market caps are comparable. So, I don't know, man. Maybe PayPal's the better deal. This is me. Anyway. All right, let's pull some miners up. Let's start with this good old CLSK. These are all near breakout zones. So let me just show you this here. And they're under it. So this could be a rejection zone. This is the .618. I think I might actually do a video on Fibonacci and why it's science-based and not voodoo. Because you need to understand that the fib comes across in nature. It comes across in quarks and quantum mechanics. It comes across in flowers, in the way that they're designed, parts of human anatomy. Like, it's real. If you people that they're like, oh, hey, astrology for finance people, they're fucking idiots. This is very real, and you need to understand that. And so I think I'll do a video that pulls in a couple of other great videos I know of that explains it in better detail. Palantir is a great company. I love it, actually. It's one of my favorite investments, and I love their cause and what they're doing to help protect our country, too. I love everything about Palantir. I just don't know that you're going to have a lot of upside. But here, so again, under the fib here, you can see where we got above the .618, but this is the golden retracement zone. This is the zone where it wants to break down. So this could be tough. We could grind here for a while. And at the same time, we've had Bitcoin sail. And Bitcoin, I was saying in other videos and in some of my posts, the 5253 region is kind of like a happy zone for it to hang out. So yeah, astrology for men. Those people are idiots. Don't listen to them. But yeah, so this right here, again, this could be a resistance zone. So I'm not totally angry that I sold, almost 200K in CLSK. Haven't sold anything else, and that was like, I think leaves me with 75% of it left. So I didn't get too crazy there. Bull thesis on Rivian, I'll probably make a separate video either tonight or tomorrow about Rivian and why I have a bull thesis on it. That way I can just give more detail. I can't do enough here, but I will do that. All right, so let's pull up Bitfarms. Let's pull up Riot and look at these as well. They're all kind of looking the same. They're hitting key resistance zones, and you'll see that. So this one, it's just hitting the previous level, right? It's been a laggard, but if you look at today, Bitfarms 16%, CleanSpark 12.33. This is why you don't chase things, guys. Like, chasing is for fools, especially in a sector like this, because they all go up eventually. Even the shittiest of companies, as long as they're not committing blatant fraud, in some cases, even if they are, they'll go up. So, and Bitfarms, Riot, and CleanSpark are some of the best managed ones out there. There's other miners that people like. I don't care to trash on other people's miners. I don't want to talk about them, though. So, again, I think that maybe Bitfarms outperforms CleanSpark again for a little bit here. We got about another 10% before we hit that .618 like CleanSpark has. So it could outperform maybe into tomorrow. And if CleanSpark could be flat to down or something like that, and you could see Bitfarms up 7-8%. Don't ask me why Bitfarms is up 7 or 8% and CleanSpark is down. It's just money washing around, guys. That's all it is, okay? All right, so real quickly, let's go to Riot. All right, Riot, here we go. Let's see. This one's been really lagging and with good reason, but I think they're going to start getting better now just because the market cap of CleanSpark has climbed so much. And so, again, people start sloshing around into other stuff. Now, here you can see the resistance line and how we turned previous volume into support. And now we're at this breakout zone. And technically, I should probably draw this a little bit higher because it's right about there, right? So we're at this breakout zone, and now we want to go higher. And I think the chance of that happening is pretty high because this has been a laggard for a while. So I think that we could maybe see Riot try and catch up, and maybe it has 26% upside as long as the market maintains. Wouldn't hurt if they had some good news too. And they do have earnings coming up. You got to realize the same stuff that happened with CleanSpark, where they're able to fairly report their Bitcoin holdings now. And this doesn't apply to like companies like Iron that don't. I can pull up Iron. I don't hate Iron. I kind of, out of the companies that are doing the AI play, I think that they're probably the best positioned. The only thing I don't like about Iris Energy, is the fact that they don't hold Bitcoin. I just think that's so stupid that they're not managing their Bitcoin to where they're in the bear market. They should be diluting shares and paying the bills that way, and then stacking Bitcoin. Because why wouldn't you stack Bitcoin at 15K? Why wouldn't you be doing that? And then why wouldn't you be selling that Bitcoin out of your treasury at like 150, right? Isn't that what you should be doing? Isn't that how you manage your commodity? So I don't love Iron for that reason, but they've got newer equipment. They're really well positioned from the age of their equipment. And maybe they do all right with the AI play. I definitely, if we were looking at Hut or Iron, easy bet. I would stick with Iron. And yeah, I will give you that because I don't hate that one. So I will give you Iron. We will look that up. Oh, and I don't have it on a ticker here, so let me just do something real quick. And I like Mike Alfred. He seems pretty legit. Hopefully he is. He's all over the place, constantly talking about it, even though he's just a board member, I guess. All right, Iris. Yeah, we had a nice little gap up. Looks like this one's interesting. I don't really have. It's not old enough to be able to do trend-based fib extension, so I'm just gonna have to do a retracement instead. Oh wait, am I getting this wrong? Oh, I grabbed the wrong one. 1 second here. Bid-based fib extension. All right, so we could backtest and do .736, but we're probably going for the recent 52-week high, and then the next step would be 1141. And this is a small cap. It is only 568 million, whereas like CleanSpark is like, I don't know, 3.6 billion. Riot is 3.64 billion. Bitfarms is 1.05 billion, and CleanSpark is 3.54. So this is the smallest cap on the list. So you can get a multiplier off of that. So that, I mean, if there's anything that maybe I'd be interested in on a retrace adding to, maybe it would be these guys. But again, I still vehemently am opposed to the fact that they don't hold Bitcoin. They need to be smarter in the future. All right. Let me see here. What else did you guys want to look at? We got anybody in chat here? Gold ratio. Let me see what I want to look at if nobody else has anything they want to look at. Oh, I do want to talk about Ethereum. Ethereum is starting to blow up too. We're starting to see altcoin. Oh, you know what? Let me do that too. I'll just do my crypto bubbles. Boom. Love doing that. If nothing else, it's just fun to look at. All right. So this is the hour. That's not fair. Let's do the day. As you can see in the crypto world, things go pretty good too. And this is not alt season. These are baby moves. I don't like Wolf. I'd have to look up why. I don't remember. So I'll try and do that later and take a look. But I don't like Wolf. I just remember not liking them, but I don't remember why. I think that they don't hold Bitcoin too. And I don't think they're an AI play. So, and I don't actually think their equipment is that good. But that's just spitballing. You guys should check out Sebastian Ski, if you really want a good breakdown on Bitcoin miners, he like tabs them out across the top. He has so many great metrics. I love Invest Answers too, James, but out of the two, I would pick Sebastian Ski. That's his name. Just you can look him up on YouTube. He's great. He's brilliant. And as far as tracking this stuff, I don't agree with him on all of his views and what he's invested in, but as far as what he's tracking and the data, it is top tier. So you guys follow him. Tell him I sent you. He's a good dude, and he needs more people following him. He deserves it with the alpha that he puts out there. Anyway, this isn't even altcoin season, guys. Altcoin season is like 30% in a day. Even in some of these top 100s, right? 30%, maybe 40% out of some of the big movers. It's not 15. So this isn't even alt season yet. You just wait. It's gonna be insane. It's gonna blow your mind, man. And then look, like the week though. Does the week look bad? Does this look like a bad week? It's not really that bad. And here's the thing. Right now it's the miners, right? It's Bitcoin leading the run. But if Bitcoin, let's say, and let's pull up Bitcoin real quick. So if Bitcoin takes a breather, and I think it can. Oh, what are we doing here? All right, good. If Bitcoin takes a breather here, you see how it's like going straight up? If it takes a breather and starts to tread around this 46 level and around here, I don't think it's going to crash. I think it just goes there. But if it keeps doing that, I'm easy to listen to. I like that. All right, I love that. I'm going to try and keep being easy to listen to. But if it keeps grinding here between now and the halving, you will see altcoins explode. Like probably like a little pre-altcoin season rally before the halving event. And I think, again, I talk about the halving so much. I call it the Trinity now. It's the triple halving in my opinion, because you have the FASB accounting rules that corporations can use now. And for anybody who hasn't heard about that, real quickly, all that means is if you had Bitcoin on your balance sheet, like Tesla, Square, all these Bitcoin miners, if you and MicroStrategy, if you had Bitcoin on your balance sheet, you had to write it down to the lowest value of the quarter, which sucks because Bitcoin obviously is a super volatile asset. So maybe it dropped 30% and it's back up. You have to write that off at the 30%. And from an accounting perspective, it's a nightmare. And no CFO would be like, oh, hey, we should totally put Bitcoin on our balance sheet so that it can fuck up all my quarterly reports. I love that. Let's do that right away. They wouldn't do that. Well, now this new rule goes into effect at the end of this year. But what I didn't realize up until recently was that people can do it now. And that's what caused CleanSpark and MicroStrategy. MicroStrategy was up 12% again today. So these things are sailing, and it's because of FASB. Then you have the Bitcoin halving. Then you have all these Bitcoin ETFs pulling in all the boomer money with people like Larry Fink, the largest fund managing person on earth, with over 12 trillion in assets or something. I don't even know anymore, along with the other 8 Bitcoin ETFs, along with the one that's probably the ones that are going to spin up in South Korea, and the ones that can potentially spin up in Hong Kong. And you have a massive wealth transfer. Normally, it's just going from the boomers to the next generation, right? They die off. It goes to the younger people. They inherit it, whatever. They get positions. They leave a company. These guys start making more money. That's how it normally works. But this time, the boomers have the power of Bitcoin, and they have financial advisors pushing them towards it. So we have the triple halving event. This is going to be, I think, closer to 2017 than 2020, 2021. And so if you guys aren't in this, you are missing out big time. Big time. My shitcoin holdings. Yeah, maybe I could. I just need to make sure there's no confidential information in here. One sec. I don't think there is. Okay. Let me see here. Yeah, okay. So here's my SHIB coins. At least some of them. You can see like the balances over here. So I got a lot of Solana. This isn't everything though. I actually have a decent amount of like Doge and Ethereum and some other crap too. I even have some Bitcoin in here. This isn't all my, I got more Bitcoin on a hardware wallet, but This is some of the stuff I'm holding right now. I put a little bit of research into this. I wouldn't follow this and look at it as like the gold standard for shitcoin stacking. Obviously, a guy who uses the word shitcoin isn't totally in love with any of these. And if there's anything I'm going to offer you guys for advice this cycle, two things. Don't sell aggressively thinking that you've made all this money and that you're at the top until at least a year has passed. And the second thing, if you're going to buy shitcoins, buy them now so that you can hold them for a year. And if you're in the States, sell out of them a year later and get long-term capital gains. Nobody watched my tax video. Nobody gives a shit about taxes until all of a sudden they figure out what their tax obligations are. But you'll be much happier paying like 12%, 15%, maybe 18% on your holdings that you cash out than paying like 30 or 40%. Trust me. So I bought my shit coins now. Might buy some more, but I'm definitely not going to trade in and out of them and pay huge amounts of taxes, especially when the Biden administration is gotten funding for like 80,000 more tax attorneys, whatever the number was. It was like, think about your taxes, please. Watch my tax video. I know nobody cares about taxes, but I don't want you guys to get all excited and start spending like ballers and then realizing that you're super poor. So please take some time to think about taxes. But yeah, this is some of them. Got a little bit of everything. A lot of shit. And then as the balances get smaller, some of these are just so speculative. It's nuts. But, that's kind of what I do. You throw in a little bag and it's like popcorn. See which ones come up. Hopefully make a bunch of money. That's it. So that's that. And this has climbed a lot. Actually, this was like 100,000 not too long ago. So it's already going up a lot, and I'm sure it'll keep going up. All right, let's see what else we got here, guys. All right, members, anything else you guys want to see real quick? Link? I can pull up Link. I don't know Link as well, but I can pull it up. Give me a second. I don't know if I have it in here. If I have, it's like super old. No, okay. All right, so let me do this. I will copy Link. I'll get this on here so I have it for next time. And again, if you guys want to see anything else, members, put it in chat. Anything else I'm missing too, guys, that we should be talking about that was big news today, please throw it in chat so we can talk about it. I need to find something that isn't. Let me see what this. Yeah, okay, this is good history. Oh, that's beautiful. That looks good. Great, man. Let me do this. Let me get a fib-based trend extension on this one. Let's see. What was the bottom? Probably March 2020. Yep, right there. Okay, cool. So we'll draw from the last major low, which was March of 2020. That's like the one for the Bitcoin cycle this last time in stocks and everything. Oh, this is beautiful. So you're above the .382. You found support on the 200 weekly moving average, like golden support, man. This is beautiful. This is like as good as it gets. And now you've been grinding up here. Let's look at the daily. You've been grinding up here right above that support line. I would say decent chance of going to 30. And it can do it in short order. So if we get that mini altcoin season I was just talking about, if Bitcoin stabilizes between like here and 46, and that's the new trade range, you'll make 50% off of this real quick. All right. Let me see here. Holy crap. Lots of stuff. Must have been falling behind here. What time is it? 4 o'clock. Okay, we got a little bit of time. Let me see. Web3. Yes, Archie calls today. Oh, yeah, Archie. I want to see that one. Let's see what's happening there. This is a 10-bagger too, man. I'm excited about Archie. Let me make sure I save Link, though, because that's a chart I don't want to lose. But Link looks sick. That's really cool. I'm loving that. All right, Archie. This is another 10-bagger that I absolutely love. I'm just waiting for it to turn around. It hasn't done that yet. It hasn't got above peak volumes. What we need to see on ARKG, guys, is we need to get above $32 and really above this 100 moving average too at about 32, 33. And we need to turn that into support. And then ideally we get up to 35 and turn that into support. If that happens and we get up to 35, it is an easy trip up to 46. And I think I make 9 or 10x by that point. Link is greater than Pith. Oh, all the fanboys with their little shit coins. I've got to say, I don't have anything I love, guys, at all. These projects are super speculative. They don't have earnings and real yield. What about Sol? I think Sol, the only thing you can really gauge these projects off of is like capacity, transaction volume, where people are going, social media activity. Like most of them don't make money at all. So it's really hard to gauge true value in shitcoins, which is why I call them that. But yeah, let's pull up Solana. Solana, though, by all the metrics that I just gave, is a rock star. Solana could flip Ethereum, I think, this cycle. And Ethereum was doing good. I don't actually think I pulled up Ethereum. We need to do that. But first, Solana. So you can see where we hit the fib. We hit the .382. And now we're just curving back around towards it. Maybe we hit it again and then have a little bit of a handle here for a cup and handle. And then do a measured move like up to 185. Or honestly, if we get that altcoin season, I think it's just a straight trip up to the .5 at 292. And that is a nice trip. That's like 150% from where we're at. I think Solana is going to be a flyer, man. I really do. I think it's going to be crazy. Just want to add my vote for Fib video. Oh, yeah, totally, man. I'll do the Fib video. It's really awesome. Hey, thanks, Inspire. Thanks for coming on. All right, PSTG. All right, you're a member. You get it. Oh, yeah, let me do ETH, though, real quick. Let me do ETH, and then I'll do... Remind me if PSTG starts to fall out of chat. Put it down again. All right. Let me just look at ETH, because I haven't updated this chart in ages, and I really need to. Do I have a good Ethereum chart? There we go. That says Ethereum. Let's see what it is. Oof. So this looks like a disaster. Let me fix this. Oh, dude. Yeah, beautiful chart on Ethereum, too, though. All right, so the thing I want to reference here, so we have our fib-based trend extension from our March low that we have up here, right? What's cool about this is that we use the first fib zone, the .236, as support perfectly. And now we're screaming up to the next fib. We have, let me get to the weekly. We have every moving average behind us because of the fact that this was just grinding for so long. So I think that, I think it's an easy trip to 4,000. And that's not as impressive as Solana, but it'll be nice. And you got to remember, this is a deflationary asset, so its ability to surprise is going to be very interesting if it gets a lot of traffic. But I think we could get a 42% move on this real quick. I'm going to save this chart too. Let me just do this. A 42% move real quick. And then I think if we get some stabilization, I think Ethereum has been an underperformer, so I would not be surprised at all to see this try and run to the 6,500 range. All right, what was it? PTSG or PSTG? Let me get that real quick, and then we can look at whatever else you guys have. PSTG, is that right? Am I saying that's right? Not a thing I have? All right, cool. Let's make a copy. Looks like my dog wants to go somewhere. That's cool. If only somebody could take this dog outside. Let me see here. What was it? PSTG. Okay. Yes, okay. I'll look that up. PSTG. There you go. Pure storage. Literally storage locations. Wow, that's not a bad looking chart. I don't know anything about this company. The chart is going up, but I really need to know something about the company. Give me 1 second. I'm just going to glance at this, because a chart, like the chart doesn't have any clear indications of what it's doing. And Arbitrum, I've got Arbitrum. That's a layer 2. I got Optimism. I've got Injective. I've got all those things. I think all of them. I think for layer 2s, I think Ethereum's going to need them. Can somebody get this dog out of here? Sorry. She's literally pacing and driving me nuts. I might have to end this stream early. But Pure Storage. So we're seeing revenue going up. We're seeing positive net income. I don't hate that. Shares outstanding. They're still diluting a decent amount. That's not super great. Lots of cash. Operating expenses going down. Cash flow pretty fast. Growing at 13% revenue. That's not horrible. Stock-based compensation, it looks like they're trying to go down. and operating leverage is getting better. But at the same time, this stock has went up a decent amount. And let me see, where did it go? I lost it. I got too many of these things, man. Let's see here. I wish I could just, there we go. At the same time, though, this thing has climbed from $8 to $45, which is a lot. And their net revenues of $70 million for a $13 billion corporation. I don't know. I mean, it's already had a great run. This isn't something that I look at. I look at things that haven't done well. New. Actually, that's a good one to look at. All right, one sec. I got to get my dog out of here. One sec. Go. Get out of here. All right, I got to put up the barrier. Otherwise, you're going to drive me nuts. I am interested in new, so I'm going to pull that up. That is a good one. I might actually already have that one. Let me see. This is one that Tanner loves. I do not. Let's get it added. This is his let's call it Latin SoFi. We'll call it Latin SoFi. And I don't love the way this is like incorporated in the Cayman Islands. It's sketchy to me for that part. But they're more clear on their financials, and they're seeing huge growth rates, like stupid. Like, look at the chart, right? This thing is in the banking sector. Certainly doesn't look like a lot of other bank charts. I can't really draw a fib-based trend extension on this one either. So all I can do is a fib retracement. Just 1 second here. But yeah, I'll get this locked and loaded and saved too. Oh, so interesting. We're right at a fib level, right? People that think fib is astrology for men are such idiots. You can literally see so clearly what's going on here. So if the banking sector is strong, and posts, they're already over this. If the banking sector remains strong, hey, thanks for joining, appreciate that. Then we could see this thing run to 1230 really quick, and basically head towards all-time highs. And I believe it could do that, man. This is their growth rates in this company are stupid. If you guys haven't seen this chart, this will blow your mind. Then now the second this company slows down, the second they slow down, the multiples on this are going to plummet. But they had 92% revenue growth last year. I don't know if the yearly, just look at it, just parabolic. So their net income, look at this. They had a bad Q4 2022. That was the time to buy this thing. I wish I would have been paying attention. But if you look at the net income since then, look at this. They're up to almost over 300 million, and their revenue is just screaming. Look at this. Their revenue was 34 million in Q4 of 2020. It is 1.5 billion today. Mind-blowing growth in this company. And look at their cash and bonds. It's just stupid how much these guys have. Their operating expenses are averaging out. They're opening up in new markets. Let's see what we have here. Look at their operating leverage is the real key. I mean, look at that. That's like Tesla-like growth. That's probably quicker than Tesla. And for a bank, what? So that's a cool one. Let me think. You're the GOAT. Thanks for hey, I appreciate it, man. I love doing this, and I'm retired for 3.5 years. I think I'd lose my mind if I wasn't doing something. And giving back is a fun thing to do. All right, CRSP. I'm going to do that real quick, and then I'm probably going to bail just to take care of my mutt. Let me see here. Oh, no, I got so many windows open that TradingView won't even let me have more. I don't even know that I can get a higher package to get more. TradingView, like, those guys are great too. I love them, but I don't know. I got to see what I can do here. Or I just got to stop opening so many windows. Maybe I shouldn't have 100 windows open. That's probably not good. Anyway, that's probably why my computer's crashing. All right, let me see here. Crisp. Yep, right like that. Oh, I don't have it. Okay. So this is probably crisper, huh? Let me see here real quick. Let me make a copy. We'll get that one in here. I gotta get my list. This is great. This is a great exercise for me too, guys. That's why I don't mind doing it. And if anything, I might try and get better at this. And I'm going to try and build out these charts across all these different areas, because this is a way for our community. If you guys see things that you think is a really good value and that other people should know about, this is the way to make that happen. I don't know what LTCN is. Can you type out, Litecoin? Oh, stay away from Litecoin. It's the shitty version of Bitcoin. And the Charlie Lee, the CEO, whatever, sold all of his at the top so that people didn't have to worry about him trying to pump pump it, and then it crushed it, and it's never been at the same level again. And there's a rule. I actually should do a video about this. 90% of shitcoins don't outpace Bitcoin from the cycle they're created or have their peak in excitement to the next cycle. 90%, over 90%. And by the second cycle, that number is over 95%. So don't fall in love with your shitcoins. That's why I call them that affectionately, because I want to make sure that you guys understand that they're garbage from an investment standpoint. You're like an angel investor. So if you like being an angel and giving your money away, that's great, but don't fall in love with them, because 95% of them are not as good as Bitcoin. Remember the math. I'm going to do a video. That's probably my next video. I'm going to write that down. You guys have to see how these will underperform. You need to understand that, and you need to be ready to let go when it's time. And I will be here to tell you that it's time. Anyway, rant over. On to CRISPR Therapeutics. This is looking good, man. We got 8.6% up, 0.4% after hours. Let me see if I can draw my fib here. I'm liking the way this looks already, though. Let's see. What was the low? March 2020. That's what we're going to count. All right. And then, oh, this one isn't doing all. Ooh, okay. So we're above a fib again. And after hours, it looks like, yeah, right at it. And so if this one can find support here, and if markets still go hot, our next step is this other high right over here at 87, and then it's to the next fib. Well, we got volume here too. So maybe like 87 to 91, it might slow down. But if it goes up to 97 quick, then, oh, boy, are we risk on. You will start to see, though, that we have this other price action here, and then we have this next volume cliff. So the .618 is probably going to be peak unless there's some amazing stuff happening. Because this is a very risk-on environment. Like when you're talking genomics, that's why I'm just in ARKG, because it's diversified risk, unless you know a lot more about genomics than I do, which is very possible. It's very possible. Neo, just kidding. Damn you, Lou. Damn you. All right, Grace, Litecoin isn't, LTCN isn't Litecoin. It's like Ethi. That's worse. So that's worse, actually, because I'd have to look, but it's not pegged. It's not pegged to Litecoin's performance. Just like Ethi isn't pegged to Litecoin's performance right now, but it's trading pretty close. But the chance of a Litecoin ETF is like 0.000%. Okay? And Litecoin is shit. And I say that because I care about you, Justin. So it's not going anywhere. It's the definition of a coin that underperforms every cycle. Do not do anything with it. Get rid of it. Invest in something else. I just don't want people to waste their time on things that are going to underperform Bitcoin. And this is Bitcoin's cycle. Shitcoins come in second place right now. They will have a time to thrive, but it's the new ones that get all the love, or at least the ones that everybody loved from last cycle. But then you have this bag effect where people have heavy bags from large drops. That's why there's always new stuff, okay? That's why people always care about new stuff. Yeah, sorry. I just don't want you to lose money, man. I'm not like one of these people that's like, oh, my coin, blah, 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 insert here is the best. Bitcoin is the best. And then there's everything else. And some of them could end up being amazing and having huge transaction volumes and just being monsters. But Litecoin will not be on that train. At AVAX, I'll give you AVAX. Your opinion on Lyft. I think they need to do a better job on earnings calls. 50 bips and 500 bips are very different things. Outside of that, I don't have much of one. All right, so what? AVAX. I'll do AVAX, and then I'm going to call it after that. That's my last one today, guys. Let me pull it up here. I don't think I have that one in here, so I'm going to do a copy again. AVAX. Now, this is another one. This is like a gamer's token, but like, again, they've expanded out of that realm since the last cycle. So, but they are like, I don't know if they're in the top 10. They're up there, right? So like, you're not going to get the same level of performance that you got last light cycle because of how large they are. Now, they're a liquid right now, which will give you a hell of a pop. but just don't expect like last cycle. What did they went down to 85 cents and then they went up to 140, $50. You're not going to get that this time. You're not going to get 150x on this one. It's too large. The market cap is too big. It's a $15.5 billion market cap. So, but again, it's doing all right this cycle. Let's pull it up. Let's throw a fib on this. But that's the thing I'm trying to teach people now is that you can't take the darlings of the last cycle and assume that you're going to make the 100x that you made last time or the 150x in this. It just doesn't work that way. I made 150x on Mara. I don't think it was last cycle. Maybe it was the one before. I don't know. Whatever. But I made 150x. Is that going to happen this cycle? No. All right, so we found support on the fib and we're headed up to the $61 level. I think it'll be pretty easy to do that. So for another 50% increase, like I can't remember which other one we were looking at, but it can do 50% pretty easy. Yo. What up, Adam? All Bitcoin forks are shit. Yeah, that's true. True story. They definitely are. Why does it seem PayPal is not getting the love it deserves? They haven't really shown that they deserve it, but I think that that's coming. I'm still super bullish. Did I even pull up PayPal? I don't think I did. I think I owe it to people to pull that up. There's many people that probably followed me into this one. All right, 1 second here. How did we do today? We were up 1%. That actually shocks me. I did buy 22,000 in January 2026 calls for this one. Now, what I do like about this right now, and let me get to the weekly here. What I do like, well, actually, I lose that view. I wanted to show that on the daily, we closed above support at the 100 moving average. Again, yellow 100, purple 50, orange line 200. So I like the fact that we've got some support, volume support underneath of us. I like we got the 100, and I would like to see a move back up to 61, 62 and have us turn that into support. I'd like to see us close this little gap right here. We got so many gaps, guys. So many gaps. But I'd like to see us maybe even get up to 63 and ideally really above this red downward trend line, right? Because we tried to get above it. This is an old line. Look at this. Goes all the way, it trends all the way back to April of 2022, almost 2 years ago now, over 20 months. And we went above it for a second. Well, actually twice, because there was that wick that somebody went viral on Wall Street Bets. So we had this wick, that painful wick. And I got excited about that too. I'm not going to lie. I was counting the hundreds of thousands of dollars I was making. They just didn't last long. And then again, but there was good reason for that. The call was shit. They sandbagged everything in the call. And I think that that's going to prove to be positive because I think it marked the bottom for these guys. And I have a lot of hope that they're going higher. So that's my thoughts on PayPal. I think I'm done, guys. I'm spent today. PayPal and SoFi. Yeah, this might be an all right idea. I think you're probably gonna miss out on some PayPal though. But again, I've had faith on this one for 8 months, and I've been wrong for 8 months. So you guys can feel free to make fun of me. Not as much as Elon with full self-driving, because he obviously is way worse by now. So anyway, that's it for me today, guys. Love ya. Hope you had a great day today. Valentine's Day. I need to spend some time with my wife and my daughter. And I hope that you guys had a good Valentine's Day. I hope you made a ton of money today. Thank you, Alan. That's sweet of you. I hope you made a ton of money today, and I look forward to you guys making a ton more. It pays to be bullish than bearish. There will be a time for safety. I don't think it's today. You guys have a great night. Love ya.